Hey everybody, BTO Pro here. Today I'm going to show off what I've been doing this week, which is basically gutting hacks. Not only say that because you'll probably think I gutted hacks, but when we've sufficiently abstracted the visual aspect of hacks from hacks as far as the way it's presented in its state form, which is what we call the way that it's represented, and like these buttons and things, not just where they look visually, but as far as them influencing the data model. So because the data model is sufficiently abstract, this is about half a week's worth of work, what you're going to see here. So I'm showing you the current pushed up version of hacks, right? It has these panels, flyouts, ability to do that. Ability to edit these things in place, right? We don't want to stop there. So here's what the current working prototype is based on UX feedback from the National Archives audit they did. So I hit edit content. All of those options and interfaces of before are merged into what's going to be over here. So there's also a substantial amount of improvement in things like drag and drop and just ease of being able to build out grids and see what you're doing. So there, I just made a 4-column grid. If I subtract these back to nothing, my content's still there, falls back out of the grid. So if I want to duplicate, these buttons are rather easy to find. I can do some quick operations to do like a heading insert or a horizontal line. But there's also this very small bar with some common options. Now I'm hoping to populate these with some things that you would commonly find in other applications where it's like last used or most frequently used, things like that. I'm still playing with this stuff, obviously. So this little mini bar up here, right, will let me just hit save content, or I can cancel this operation. I have a minor amount of leeway in collapsing this. It's also got a preview as far as what I'm hovering over, so kind of like a awareness where I am right now. I'm on an image. When I select an item, it's going to open up this menu, and to prove that, I will close it, click an image. This is the form that previously was illustrated as the preview, right? So I could get to that through here. I'd work on this temporary holding pattern object, push it back into the page. However, now because of these updates, we've got this live updating in real time. So now you're just working on the material as you would kind of expect to in a system like this, to be perfectly honest. So we don't stop there, though. Major revision in the way that these things are currently presented, and I still have work to do on this. But let's say I want to find a retro card. Now I can drag and drop the card into the location off of here directly, right? So I could drop a retro card there, and then it will default this form open so I can start working, right? So you can rapidly generate a lot of content off of this. Still have all of our fun tricks from before, like webcam, but this doesn't have a backend currently, so I hit that and it'll just say, hey, you don't have a backend. But all those things still come along for the ride. I will go to asset/banner.jpg. It's just an image I know exists. There we go. Take a second to load. So there's my source. I can change this color to be cyan. Let's make it dark themed. Add columns to this. Whoops, that has a clickable link. need to clean that part up. So all of our types from before are still here. I'm still working on cleaning up the integrations of them. Like if I drop down a license, I get all the fields I would expect for a license. And you can see I can just work on this a heck of a lot faster than I could previously. And you'll notice just patterns are getting a lot more fluid. The performance is off the charts, to be perfectly honest, relative to before. And it's because we just keep reducing the number of elements involved to power hacks. So this is all a result of the major rewrite we did under the hood to get this onto lit element. Another cool thing here, say I want to search YouTube and pull up YouTube in context, and let's search for something about Elms LN. Now I could select the video and it would say, hey, here's how you can present this, just like before. Put it in the pages of video, make it that size. But what I couldn't do before is I'll search YouTube again for LN. I can actually take this and drop it exactly in context where I want it. And in the case of grid plates, it does move it over to the first column occasionally. But there we go. So we've got that in place. Now I could search NASA in this case, and we're going to pull up microgravity, drop it in the page as a retro card, change that color to pink because microgravity is very awesome. So yeah, there's a lot of progress being made on these. I can also just click these and drop them in and start working on whatever it is that I need to do with this specific one. And you can see it update in real time, all that fun stuff, just like before. But no, preview off canvas thing. I can also do this, right? So I have a self-check, and you can see the ghosting of the image there. I can correctly place it in the page so that I can start working on this self-check exactly where I would expect it to be, and start filling it out in context. Then I could take that, duplicate it, pick this one up, move it over here. All right, resize it, maybe center it on the page, change the type of this so that it's actually, where's my favorite meme? I don't see my meme anywhere. So we'll just go with an image, right? And so there it is as an image. So, clearly some things still need to work out. I'm not suggesting that this is bulletproof yet, but it's pretty significant as far as the amount of progress made on this. In such a short period of time. So I also have this working, and this again just speaks to the type of development we're doing as far as web component driven. So this is my IST 402 course. This is running in a sandbox locally, serving up via those assets. And all of the things I just showed, and honestly, I have done zero testing of this in this environment, but it just works. So it speaks to when we can build things in these modular pieces. And yeah, there's, this design work like intersects the side of the screen. And I've got these little weird things around the buttons. Like, obviously I have some stuff to clean up. I'm not going to say I don't. But just the fact that it's this functional and I am literally opening it for the first time here should speak to just how modular we're getting this thing. So I haven't played with it in a Drupal context yet. That's a large part of what the UX audit was. So still have some work to do, clearly, but data binding is really in a good place already. Just being able to search for these things and filter the list down accurately, jump over to this parallax image mode, and then put that in. And now I have a parallax image effect with heading. Oh, apparently didn't like that I put in a heading there. So obviously, there's some stuff to do here. I'm not going to suggest there isn't. But let me know what you think. We're working pretty hard at this, and a rather significant form revision, which is what's powering a lot of this stuff under the hood. Hey, drop a Drupal resource in the page as a Wikipedia article. There we go. So it's only getting easier to use. Oh, another neat little thing as far as a UX pattern. I'm not entirely sold on it yet, but it's kind of cool. Is I can drag this and move it around, or if I click, it'll turn into an up and down arrow. So I think that could be an effective way of handling some of this stuff on mobile rather. It's also how when I split this grid and then I add a component, imagine if I'm using my finger to do this on a phone, I don't have that ability to tap and drag very easily, but I could select something that's in context, and you can imagine I hit meme, and then I could, start working on the meme with minimal issue as far as, having that ability to do a drag and drop formally. So this is kind of state of, hoping to get this moved into the actual branch once everything is completely functional. This is still a significant amount of effort that needs to be done here, naming things, grouping them better, taking these items and making sure that they're laid out appropriately. But from my perspective, huge chunk of the functional aspect of this has been correctly migrated and feature enhanced on top of it. So we need to do testing in real systems, obviously, but even just being able to do this stuff this rapidly is pretty fantastic. I'm not going to lie. This is a significant lift in place. So hope you enjoyed. Always looking for feedback and how we can make this stuff better, but I am in love with where it's heading. I'll tell you that.